H. Wells, The War of the Worlds. Prepare to journey into the chilling world of alien invasions with H. Wells, The War of the Worlds. This summary encapsulates a tale that not only pioneered the science fiction genre but also delves into the deep-seated fears and vulnerabilities of human nature. Set in England during the late 19th century, the narrative unfolds through the eyes of an unnamed protagonist who witnesses humanity's first encounter with a formidable extraterrestrial force. Expect to explore themes of survival, imperialism, and the fragility of human civilization, as Wells crafts a narrative rich with suspense and social commentary. This summary will guide you through the Martians' fierce invasion and the visceral human response, painting a vivid picture of the chaos and turmoil that ensues. Equal parts thrilling and thought-provoking, Wells challenges us to reflect on the darker aspects of humanity and the possible consequences of unchecked technological and imperial ambitions. Dive in to see how a seemingly superior alien race exposes the vulnerabilities of mankind, only to meet their demise from an unexpected enemy.
Martian Encounters. Picture an unnamed man, looking back at events from the summer of 1894 in England. The scene unfolds with a keen interest in Mars, a planet known by scientists to orbit the Sun at a formidable distance of 140 million miles, bathed in chilly sunlight. Its atmosphere barely clung to survival, home to shrinking oceans and diminishing snowcaps. Once thought to harbor only simple life forms, Mars was actually teeming with advanced beings whose gaze towards Earth was calculative and eerily indifferent. The Martians were pushed to the brink by dwindling resources, a crisis that sparked their intelligence and drove them to seek refuge on Earth, just 35 million miles away. In an audacious move, the Martians catapulted a sequence of 5 capsules towards our planet, an act initially misunderstood by astronomers, unaware of the looming threat. The first arrival, a capsule streaking across the sky, landed near Woking, England, plunging into the soil and kicking off a wave of speculation and dread. Oblivious onlookers gathered, oblivious to the terror housed within the earthen tomb. The persistent hammering sound suggested activity, possibly construction or repair work. Ogilvy, an inquisitive astronomer, dared to venture closer, only to witness the grotesque emergence of life forms far removed from anything Earth had ever known. This was not a simple welcome from a neighboring planet. Human assumptions, grounded in Earth's stronger gravitational pull, underestimated the Martians' capabilities. Peaceful intentions were obliterated when a delegation presented with a white flag was met with merciless violence. A blinding heat ray, emanating from the capsule, incinerated everything in its path, tearing through metal, flesh, and nature with indiscriminate fury. The sheer annihilation drove survivors into panicked retreat, marking the dawn of conflict. Taking a step back to appreciate the meticulously crafted scenario created by H. G. Wells, it's evident why he remains a cornerstone of sci-fi literature. With The War of the Worlds, he was among the pioneers envisioning alien invasion. Wells took this speculative premise and treated it with earnest gravity, exploring how such an encounter might genuinely affect Earthlings. Beyond a thrilling sci-fi horror, it serves as a reflective commentary on human nature. Throughout history, aren't there echoes of empires exploiting new territories once they exhausted their own resources? Haven't advanced technologies been wielded to dominate and subjugate indigenous cultures? Wells intertwines these observations with the sobering fable of imperialism. Tribes in Tasmania were nearly wiped out by Europeans, a grim parallel in his narrative. The tale is narrated by a character many suspect to be Wells himself, casting a reflective eye on humanity's history and offering the wisdom gained post-war. Implicit lessons encourage rethinking human imperialism and colonization. Could it be that our relentless hunger for progress blinds us to compassion, much like the hypothetical Martian invasion for survival? Herein lies the essence of Wells' narrative. It compels one to question humanity's capacity for mercy. If our relentless pursuit has led to such devastation in our history, can we justifiably condemn the Martians for their fight for existence? As the story unfolds, it challenges readers to reflect on humanity's legacy and possibly find a path more rooted in understanding and empathy. Martian Onslaught. Beneath a calm, starlit sky, the village streets of Woking lay unnervingly quiet. In this eerie stillness, only the sounds of metallic strikes and construction echoed from a mysterious pit that had drawn the attention of both the townsfolk and the military. Greenish-white smoke wafted from the freshly unearthed site, home to a strange capsule from Mars that promised unknown perils. Yet, the day's surreal tranquility soon evaporated with the break of dawn. A brilliant emerald streak tore through the night sky, a second Martian cylinder hurtling thunderingly into the distant pines, a scene stirring both curiosity and dread. As soldiers encircled the initial Martian landing site, anticipation surged among the residents. Whiffs of fiery anticipation filled the air, a spark of heroic resolve igniting in their chests as artillery began to rumble, hinting at the coming clash. But these scenes of potential bravery quickly morphed into images of devastation as the Martians wielded their terrifying heat ray, casting an infernal glow over the countryside and obliterating everything in its electrifying path. The weight of the mounting threat spurred the narrator into action, spurring him to whisk his wife away to Leatherhead for safety amidst the frantic exodus of fellow locals. Thursday night brought nothing but chaos on the roads, packed with desperate refugees fleeing the advancing Martian onslaught. The narrator managed to part with his wife near Leatherhead, honoring his promise to return the borrowed cart to its rightful owner. Alone on his return, he faced the malevolent wonder of a third cylinder streaking across the sky, thunderclaps echoing as green lightning lingered. His horse panicked at this ominous spectacle, and it was then that he laid eyes on the dreadful marvel that was the Martian war machine. These metallic tripods, towering titans of menace, were the product of Martian engineering, a chilling answer to mankind's fortifications. At the helm of these giant tripods were alien pilots nestled within a hooded compartment, wielding the heat ray with merciless precision to eradicate every trace of human existence they encountered. Amidst the turmoil, the narrator crashed his borrowed cart and returned to a devastated Woking, yet surprisingly found his home untouched by the march of destruction. Hope flickered into his dire circumstance during the night when he offered refuge to a stray soldier whose tales confirmed the futility of human defenses against the Martian onslaught. Together they contemplated their grim situation. Remaining in Woking was futile. The soldier proposed heading northwest towards London, a decision the narrator reluctantly joined, haunted by the grim shadow of the third Martian impact that lay en route to his wife in Leatherhead. Thus in the dim light of dawn, they embarked through a ravaged landscape, escorted by the specters of the fallen. The ravages grew stark as they approached Weybridge, where they ran into a lieutenant and his troops staunchly holding their ground by the banks of the Wey and Thames rivers. Initially dismissive, the lieutenant's skepticism gave way to fear as the Martians approached, fearsome tripods casting oppressive shadows, their heat rays carving fiery wrath into the earth. The artillery countered with staunch determination, finally felling one of the marauding giants, igniting fleeting triumph even as the dying machine crashed ominously into the heat-blistered river. Escape became imperative as scalding water threatened to overtake the narrator, forcing him to claw his way to safety with minor burns as remnants of the fallen Martian war machine sank below the river. Stunningly, the Martians chose retreat over retaliation, their mechanical beasts stomping back toward their battleground in Woking. Perhaps mercifully, the narrator commandeered an abandoned boat, allowing the gentle pull of the river to draw him away from the chaos, even as nightfall wrapped the world anew under a deceptively serene summer cloak. Under alien siege. Awakened by a riverbank, our narrator finds himself accompanied by a trembling curate, a clergyman burdened by fear, as he struggles to move through the pain and thirst that grips him. Together, they travel through the chaotic landscape of Weybridge, a site of fierce conflict where massive tripods from Mars clash with the organized military defense lines of the British. Amidst this frenzied battle, the narrator witnesses a new Martian terror, a sinister cloud known as the Black Smoke, capable of suffocating life within its reach. Miraculously, the two escape its deadly grasp and find temporary refuge in an abandoned house at Halliford, where they gather much-needed food and provisions. Their perilous journey continues as they cross the Thames at Richmond Bridge and reach the outskirts of London, where an unsettling sight awaits, a Martian machine plucking a living person and placing them into a gigantic metallic basket, hinting at a sinister purpose beyond sheer annihilation. Seeking safety, they find solace in a well-stocked house in Sheen, immersing themselves in the rare comfort of food and wine. But tranquility proves to be fleeting with the dramatic arrival of the fifth and last Martian cylinder. The crash half buries their shelter in debris, leaving them trapped amidst mounting dread. Conscious again, the narrator comprehends the dire reality outside. The Martians construct a menacing new machine, capable of movement and labor. Fear grips them further as silence becomes essential. The slightest sound could alert these tenacious beings and seal their fate. The curate, increasingly panicked and irrational, becomes a liability, his selfishness and cowardice only exacerbating the threat already looming over them. Peering through cracks in the wall, they witness the construction of a handling machine, an intricate apparatus of 5 legs and multiple arms that the Martians use to orchestrate their mechanical invaders. This covert observance reveals these otherworldly creatures up close, round bodies, devoid of noses, and crowned with 16 tentacles. Horror intensifies when they uncover the malevolent fate of captured humans. The Martians, sustaining their eerie existence, deploy a ghastly mechanism to drain human blood, directly feeding it into their own venous systems, a chilling display of vampiric survival. The land itself is caught in a transformation. Invasive redweed flourishes, a foreign flora brought by the Martians that rapidly engulfs the countryside. This crimson growth infiltrates every nook, painting a surreal landscape and further entrenching the otherworldly presence on Earth. Trapped in their besieged dwelling, the narrator and the curate witness both the terror and the tragic beauty of this alien occupation, a world altered forever by the arrival of forces beyond their comprehension. Martian Downfall. For 2 haunting weeks, survival had become a tenuous game for the narrator and his companion, the curate. Starvation loomed and fear gnawed at them as the curate unraveled under the pressure. On the 6th day of their confinement, a moment of desperation forced the narrator to confront this growing instability. He incapacitated the curate to silence him, just as their noise risked attracting Martian attention. Moments later, a Martian machine probed their hiding place, extracting the curate's lifeless form, yet overlooked the narrator, leaving him unnoticed. 8 days passed under tense silence until, at last, the oppressive presence of the Martians vanished, and their enigmatic machinery dissolved into mystery. Tentatively, the narrator ventured beyond the walls, greeted by an eerie view of the redweed sprawling unchecked across the landscape. Yet, in glimmers of hope, patches of this invasive growth showed signs of decay, hinting at its weakness to Earth's environment. Seeking refuge in an inn on Putney Hill, he encountered a soldier he had met earlier in Woking. This soldier painted a bleak picture, convinced that the human race faced extinction at the Martian invaders' hands. Yet from hopelessness sparked an idea: maybe humanity, like persistent rats, could find safety underground, hidden from sight. The narrator engaged with the soldier's plan, digging tunnels and passing time in aimless pursuits, but soon recognized its futility. His heart ached for his wife, pulling him onward toward London. Upon reaching Kensington Gardens, an unsettling sound punctured the solitude, a sorrowful, repetitive wail, "Ola, Ola, Ola," filled the air. The emptiness surrounding him spread an unnerving isolation, heightening the narrator's sense of solitude. Seeking respite, he broke into an abandoned pub, finding fleeting comfort in stolen nourishment before succumbing to slumber. His rest was interrupted, the mournful call still echoed through the night, grating on his weary senses until he crossed Regent's Canal, where it ceased, leaving a void as profound as the desolate city. Pushed to the limits of despair, the narrator stumbled upon an eerie scene atop Primrose Hill. A Martian tripod stood silent and unmoving, birds perched unperturbed on its structure. Determined to embrace his presumed fate, the narrator approached, resigned. To his astonishment, the machine was lifeless, the cityscape before him strewn with vanquished Martians. Earth's native resilience had triumphed where humanity's weapons failed. Microbes, banal yet lethal to unprepared aliens, turned the tide. The redweed shared the same fate, succumbing to Earth's hidden defenses. Days blurred by in a haze for the narrator, recovering with help from other survivors. The world began its slow return to normalcy, and he finally made his way back to his home in Woking. Traces of devastation lingered, dust, spoiled food, remnants of a life interrupted. Yet amidst this, an unexpected reunion awaited him, his wife and cousin, alive and well, their long separation bridged in an emotional moment of disbelief and love. This cherished encounter echoed humanity's stubborn resilience, the quiet triumph of survival and the enduring bond of those who dare to hope against all odds.
In the closing chapters of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, we witness the Martians' downfall, ironically caused by Earth's smallest inhabitants, bacteria and viruses. This twist reinforces the complexity and unpredictability of nature, suggesting humanity's triumph is owed not to technological prowess, but to biological resilience. As peace gradually returns and civilizations begin to rebuild, Wells invites readers to ponder the lessons learned from this harrowing ordeal. The narrative acts as a cautionary tale, urging a reconsideration of imperialistic tendencies and a reflection on human vulnerability. Through the lens of interstellar warfare, Wells critiques the colonial attitudes of his time, drawing parallels between Martian aggression and human history. Ultimately, this story is a stark reminder of the destructive potential of unchecked ambition, and a call to humility before nature's supremacy. By encapsulating these themes, the summary offers a glimpse into Wells' masterful blend of scientific curiosity and social critique, leaving readers with profound reflections on humanity's role in the universe.